Hi, I'm Cindy from bdancewear.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to take a strapless leotard and turn it into something cute and sassy like this. So if you're looking for something that has a little bit of coverage on the stomach, you want to create something yourself, but you're not really comfortable from starting from the very basic pattern of a leotard or a strapless leotard, you can always buy a leotard, or if you already have one, that works too. So this one I used a strapless leotard and created a halter neck, but then we also did the cutouts here, giving a nice open low back on that. And so this might be just the thing for you if you're looking for something relatively simple to do, super sassy, super fun, then go ahead and check out this leotard. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure the leotard is on someone, the person that's going to be wearing it, because it'll stretch, and if you cut a hole in it and then stretch it and pull it on, you're going to have a problem because there's going to be boobs showing or something looking funny. So the first thing I've done is I've cut a strip about 8 inches wide of mesh. I want to build a strap. So I'm going to tuck this in, and then I'm just going to pin it into place because I'm going to go back and sew it so I get where I want it, there and there, and then I'm going to pull this up nice and tight so that it fits on the dancer exactly in the same spot, that it's nice and pulled up, nice and comfortable, where the dancer doesn't feel like it's going to fall down on them. And then we're going to end up going inside and sewing this all down. So the other thing I want to do is determine where the bust line stops. We want to go a few inches below it. And I want to go ahead and mark this. And we'll mark it and cut it even. And then I think we want to come around like this and low. Just like that. And then we're going to duplicate it on the other side. So what you definitely want to make sure and do is I've pinned them both on the inside. I'm going to measure up seam to seam and then fold it in half. You want to make sure the beginning of each strap is the same and the ending. Otherwise it'll be lopsided. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to turn it inside out. I am going to fold it in half. And I don't know how well you can see what I've marked here as far as the hole that we created. So I've got it together. I can see it really well. I know it's going to be harder for you to see, but I used a piece of soap and it'll wash off really easily. So we're going to keep this low in the back. We're going to keep cutting around. Now I folded it in half so the seams are together, so whatever I cut on the right side will be equal on the left side. And we're just going to keep cutting it around. And then I'm going to come back in here. I think there's, oh, the tag is in the way there, so let's slide it out. And we're going to cut it like that. Okay, so the next step, you can see it's nice and open there. I'm going to throw this away. I've also cut some strips of the mesh so we can clean this line up. You can sew in elastic and turn it over, or you can sew in a piece of brown mesh. I wanted to tie that in and then fold it over. So we're going to do the piece of brown mesh, and you'll slightly pull it taut, which will help pull everything in. So let's go ahead and slide the sewing machine over. Let's turn it on. And this should just take a second. Bear with me. And there we go. It is threaded. Okay. So first thing we're going to want to do, make sure these are nice and strong. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to gather it up nice and pretty so it's not too clumpy. And then we're just going to, oh, there's a little clump there. And we're going to gather it in. And now I'm going to go ahead and just straight stitch right over it. And back it up. Then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to zigzag it at the very top edge so it doesn't flip down. So let's go a nice wide to catch all the little pieces. And you're going to back stitch and then come back on the other side and back stitch again. Now, especially if you rhinestone it, that'll be covered up. Then you'll repeat the same thing on this side. Then the next step is, it looks like there's a little point there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim that point off like that. I like to start from the center back. And I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of that mesh. I'm going to cut this edge off. Then I'm going to straight stitch it with the needle. I'll give myself about a little more than 1/4 of an inch there. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. If you have a stretch stitch, it's good to use here. And then remember, I'm going to pull this mesh just a little snug. The thread's caught up here. Let's cut that away. You want to pull it tight or use elastic so that it sticks to the body so it doesn't pop out. And you just keep going all the way around. And keep an even distance because when we go back around, it'll be really important that the distance on that is even because otherwise it'll look lopsided. Let's keep going. You could use Lycra, you don't have to use mesh, or you can use elastic and just fold it over. And then just keep going. Keeping an even distance. The biggest thing you want to be careful of before you cut, make sure you've got plenty of room. If you feel more comfortable trying it on the girl before you actually sew, that might be a good idea your first time. And just keep going around. And then we're going to get to the end and we're just going to fold the mesh in because we're going to fold it all back. So we've got the very end on the beginning. I'm going to take that and fold it back because this is going to cross over behind it. And that's really important to give it a finished edge. Now, I always work with a little bit wider of a piece than I need to because I like to be able to go in and trim it off. And then now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold that around the edge. Keep it nice and tiny, nice and even. Now I want a nice zigzag on that. Speed it up a little here. And then you just keep going around. And then every time you go over the edge, the seam, make sure that's tucked in really well. And then you just keep doing this all the way around, and then it'll be finished off. And it's really that easy. Thank you for watching our video. And if you enjoyed it, make sure and click here to subscribe because we're going to have some amazing DIY videos coming out. And if you want to get our free, complete dance costume DIY guide, click right here or go to bdancewear.com/DIY guide. And lastly, if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please leave it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching our video. And remember, be original, be colorful, bdancewear.com.